In this section of the course, we are going to switch our focus to taking a look at File Explorer and what exactly is File Explorer? Well, the best way to describe it is it's like a big filing cabinet. It's where all of your folders and your files are stored. And by default, once you have installed Windows 11, you should see that you have File Explorer pinned to the taskbar at the bottom of the screen. And it's this icon just here, the one that looks like a folder. Now, if for some reason you don't see this pinned down here, remember we can just jump into that Start menu and you might find it in this pin section at the top. So if I scroll down a little bit, there is File Explorer. If you still can't see it in there, you are going to need to jump across to All Apps. Scroll down to Earth and File Explorer will be in here. And of course, you can right-click and you can choose to pin it to the Start menu, or you can go into More and pin it to the taskbar. Now, bear in mind, I have File Explorer already pinned to Start on the taskbar, which is why, for me, it says Unpin. So make sure you have easy access to File Explorer. First of all, because it's going to be something that you are diving in and out of all the time. Now there is quite a lot to File Explorer. So let's start out by taking a look at this PC. Now, the way the File Explorer works is that you can select different drives or folders and navigate through the folder structure to find the file that you are looking for. And if you take a look on the left-hand side of this File Explorer window, you can see I have lots of shortcut links to different storage locations. So let's start out with this piece because in general, this is where you are going to find all of your files and folders. Basically, everything on your computer is stored within this PC. And if I click on this, you can see that I have a few different folders here: desktop downloads, pictures, documents, music and videos. And then I have my devices and drives. Now your setup might look slightly different to mine. I only have a C drive. If you have something like an external storage device plugged in, you might see something like an E drive down here. Or you may even have multiple drives on whatever computer or laptop that you are using, and drives in general are assigned a letter so that you can easily identify them. And the one that's most commonly known is the C drive. So for me, the C drive is basically the internal hard drive on the laptop that I'm using. If you plug in an external storage device, that is normally labeled the E drive. So the main points takeaway here is that any drives that you are using will have a letter to identify them, and effectively all of these folders that you can see above sit on my C drive. Everything on my computer is stored on the C drive. Now these icons just above are folders, and this is one of the little changes in Windows 11 that's different from Windows 10. In Windows 10, all of the folders were just a yellow color, so it's quite hard to tell them apart. So in this version, the icons are now different colors, making them a little bit easier to identify. And what we can do here is we can double-click to access one of these folders. So if I double-click on the Documents folder, for example, that's going to show me any subfolders I have within documents, and you can see that I have got quite a few folders at the top here. Those ones have this yellow folder icon, and then I have some files in here as well. So that is how you can really tell the difference between folders and files. A folder will always have that little yellow icon. And if I double-click on a folder, it's going to take me into the next level. And for me, I also have folders underneath this folder, so I have subfolders within folders. Let's double-click on blog post to go into that folder. And again, I have some more folders. I'm going to carry on going. Let's double-click again. I have one folder, but I also have a couple of files sitting in here. Now you can always tell where you are by taking a look up in this little path name area. This is going to show you all of the folders that you have navigated through to get to your current location. So I can see I went through documents, work files, blog post, pivot charts in Excel. And if I want to navigate back through this folder structure, I can either use the back button in File Explorer to go back a level, or I can use the path name up here, and we call this a breadcrumb trail. So if I want to go all the way back to documents, I can simply click on documents and it's going to jump me back to that folder. So pretty simple to navigate through your folder structure. Now I'm going to go back to this PC and I'm actually going to double-click on the C drive down here. Now what you'll see underneath the C drive is a whole bunch of folders. Some of these you can access, some of them you can't. Now you don't really have to worry too much about the folders that we have in here. These folders are mainly related to system files. They contain all of the files and the little programs that your computer needs in order to be able to run. So I would highly recommend not really messing around too much in here. Don't start deleting things, because deleting anything from the C drive, particularly if you don't really know what it is that you are deleting, could cause your PC to run into some problems or even stop working altogether. So be aware that all of your system files are here, but also be aware that you don't really need to worry about these too much. They pretty much take care of themselves. Now there is one folder in here which is quite useful, and if we scroll all the way down, it's this folder just here, the one labeled users. So if we double-click to jump into here, what you'll see is your username. You also might see other names in here, depending on if you have multiple people using your PC. So if you have multiple accounts that use this PC, maybe other family members, everybody is going to have their own folder, and your user folder basically contains all of your own files. And the good thing about this is, if you do have multiple family members' folders listed out here, you're not going to be able to access anybody else's home folder, because you can only access the folder of the person that you are logged in as. So if I double-click on my home folder, this is going to contain all of my files, so I can see things in here like desktop documents, downloads, favorites, pretty much everything that I use now. Most of these folders that you see in here are default folders, meaning that they are not folders that you have to create yourself in order to store your files. When you create your account on Windows 11, it's automatically going to create these folders for you, so that you have a place automatically to store any documents. You create a place that's going to house anything that you download, a place for you to store your pictures, your videos, so on and so forth. Now, of course, you don't have to use these preset default folders. You can rename them or you could create your own. But I would recommend using them as they are already there. And in general, these some folders are there to help you keep all of your files organized and tidy. So just be aware of this home folder because this is a really important area where all of your personal files are stored. So as we have already seen when we are navigating through our folder structure in File Explorer, sometimes we kind of have to dig through quite a few different folders in order to find the particular file that we are looking for. For example, you can see here, the documents, work files, blog posts, pivot charts in Excel folder. And I have had to come to here in order to find the blog post on pivot charts in Excel. Now that's fine. It's just taking me a couple of seconds to do that. But if I find myself constantly digging around through multiple layers of folders, trying to find files, that becomes inefficient very quickly. So it's always a good idea to set up shortcuts to folders that you use most frequently so that you can get to the correct location in one click as opposed to multiple, and shortcuts can be set up in File Explorer and housed in this Quick Access section at the top here. So if I expand out, you can see all of the different folders that I have created shortcuts to. And you can see that they have this drawing pen icon next to them to show me that those folders are pinned. So, for example, if I click on this folder just here YouTube, that jumps me through directly to the YouTube folder. So instead of having to navigate to this PPC documents, work files and then YouTube, I have got to the same location in one click because it's a shortcut. So how do you create shortcuts? Well, it's really simple. So let's jump back a level and go back to work files. Maybe I'm doing a lot of work on blog posts at the moment, so I want to make this blog posts folder a shortcut so that it's easy to access. Well, all I need to do is right-click on the folder. And from the menu, I can select Pin to Quick Access. So if I select that. Now if you take a look at the folders underneath this Quick Access section, I have a new one at the bottom called Blog Posts, and that's going to be pinned there permanently until I choose to remove it. And if you do want to remove any folders from this Quick Access area, it's simply a case of right-clicking and selecting Unpin from Quick Access. You can also organize these folders that you see underneath Quick Access. So if I want YouTube to be at the top, I simply need to select it, click and drag it into its new location in order to move that. So the folders that you have pinned here in the order that you have them in is very much down to your personal preference and the folders that you use most frequently. So I definitely recommend that you go through and you pin your most frequently used folders to this quick access area and organize in a way that's most efficient for you. Now it's worth noting at this stage that you can also pin files and folders to the Start menu as well. So if I right-click on blog posts again, you can see that I have an option Pin to Start. So if I select that one now, when I go into my Start menu and scroll down, you can see there is my folder nicely pinned, and of course, I can drag this around if I want to rearrange it. So really simple to do. And I think I'm going to unpin that because I don't really want that one pinned to my Start menu. Now, another thing you can do in the realm of creating shortcuts is you can right-click on any file or folder. Go all the way down to Show More Options, which is going to give you that old-style Windows 10 menu, and you could choose Create Shortcuts. And that's basically going to give you a shortcut to this folder. And you can see it right at the bottom of File Explorer just here. Now, once you have that shortcut, you can basically place that anywhere as a quick way to jump back to that particular folder. And a common thing for people to do is place shortcuts on the desktop, so I can simply drag and drop this onto my desktop. And if I close File Explorer down, if I want to quickly jump back to that folder, I can simply double-click. It's going to open up File Explorer, and I'm straight into that folder. Now, I don't tend to like this method as much as using quick access, simply because I like to keep my desktop quite clean. I don't like to have a desktop that has hundreds of files and folders scattered all over it. And over the years, I have seen people who have many files on their desktop. For me, it gets a bit confusing. But sometimes this can be useful for particular folders. Now remember, if you want to delete a shortcut, you can right-click and select the delete icon. And the thing that most people worry about when it comes to deleting shortcuts is they feel like they might be deleting the folder and all the files contained within it. If it's a shortcut and you delete it, it's not going to delete the folder and the files. It is literally just going to delete the shortcut to that folder. As you can see, I still have my blog post folder here. I can still double-click and go into it.